What if?
With that said, let's move along to another change that Deadpool made, which was going back and killing the Deadpool in Wolverine X-Men Origins. Now, the reason why I use air quotes is because anyone that made the painful accomplishment of watching that movie in its entirety all the way to the post-credits knows that Deadpool could be decapitated and he still comes back to life. So a few bullets in the head wouldn't kill him. And because of that, I consider this more of a cathartic moment for the character Deadpool and for the actor Ryan Reynolds himself, because I could imagine that he threw in all these things in the post-credits on purpose to basically kill off the joke already about Green Lantern and X-Men Origins. But by closing these doors, he may not have realized the doors he opened up. And lastly, Deadpool went back in time to save
Peter.
Now, I may be mistaken, but to me it looked like the actor that plays Peter was skinnier in the post-credit sequence, which makes me think that this was added in reshoots. And I could think of two reasons why. The overwhelmingly positive response of Peter in the test screenings, and or the fact that TJ Miller will not be returning to the franchise because of personal problems, which opens up a void. So what if in the next movie we find out Peter has been running the bar for quite some time? And to me this could be comedy gold, because just imagine how the criminals have rubbed off on Peter, but more importantly, how Peter has rubbed off on these criminals. You're going from a weasel to the sugar bear, from selfish to selfless. Okay, well that may cover all the changes, but there's more. Like Yukio said,
That was probably a bad idea.
because just the fact that changes were made would have caused a problem with the fabric of reality, space, and time. And because Deadpool is really at fault, it kind of feels like he's the bad guy. So, what if in the next movie there is a main villain that is shown on the posters and in the trailers, but he's more of a placeholder that doesn't really matter? So, I'll let you guys decide who that could be. Because what if there's another independent villain that basically represents what X-24 was in Logan and what Juggernaut was in Deadpool 2, because he's lurking in the background, sabotaging every attempt to fix reality. But we never get to see his face. That's until the end of the second act, when he has to reveal himself. And we find out that it's Deadpool from an alternate universe. And he has to come out the shadows in order to kill an important scientist that was heavily guarded in a facility. But we soon realize that he's not just any alternate Deadpool, because after he tries to escape, after a lot of running, he walks into a long hallway filled with private security, blocking his path to the door at the end of the hallway. And now, seeing it from the perspective that this Deadpool is the bad guy, we quickly realize that the private security we're seeing massacred for the second time are actually the good guys. And after killing the last one in his last samurai pose, he stops, turns to the camera, takes off the mask to reveal Tom Cruise once again.
Stuntman Tom Cruise is running on cue. What you gonna do? You can't fuck with Tom Cruise.
But this time, he breaks the fourth wall for the first time and introduces himself to the audience.
Only thing didn't show up was a Polish cavalry.
Hey guys, good evening.
You wanna talk? You want me to fuck off? We're in this together. Fates intertwined, cosmic coincidence, you know.
Get in the mirror.
You are here for me to enlighten you, to edify you, to send you off into the now not so unknown future. So come along with me. Get with it. Millions of galaxies of hundreds of millions of stars and a speck on one in a blink. That's us, lost in space. Someday my dream will come. One night you'll wake up and you'll discover it never happened. It's all turned around on you. It never will. Suddenly you are old. It didn't happen. And it never will because you were never going to do it anyway. You're pushing in a memory that zone out in your Barco lounger, being hypnotized by daytime TV for the rest of your life. Don't you talk to me about murder.
Okay, that's kind of intense. And then Tom Cruise opens the door and walks through the doorway, just like before. But before I go any further, I want you guys to know that I had purposely left the opening sequence with Tom Cruise going through an open doorway. Because when you think about it, that means that was the last time you guys actually saw him. And that left his storyline literally open-ended. And that's why I believe this twist is perfect for Deadpool. Because you can't think of any other scenario where the audience can accept seeing Tom Cruise going through the doorway and then seeing Ryan Reynolds coming out of a doorway and have them convinced that it's the reality within the movie. All the fourth wall breaking broke the structure of conventional storytelling. Anything goes. So it'll be easier to pull off some trickery.
Are you sure?
To the point that the audience will be pulling the wool over their own eyes. And I also purposely use the terminology of Tom's Deadpool going through the doorway and Ryan coming out of a doorway as hints to the reveal. So what if to physically represent that the doors are the different styles, different shades, and the doorknobs are different sizes? And a clue to that was the fact that the first thing that Ryan's Deadpool said when he came out the doorway was mocking their height difference. And yet with all those hints, I still believe the audience will be convinced, especially that they will see it as an homage to Austin Powers' Goldmember, when in fact it's more of an homage to Mission Impossible 3. In which there's an intense opening sequence with Tom Cruise, and the scene ends with us as the audience left to believe one thing, but then later on we get to see the same scene in the context of the story, and once we see the scene fully play out, we quickly realize that things weren't what they seemed. Remind you of anything? The only difference is we haven't seen the whole thing play out, and in this case, that's what and who is waiting for Tom's Deadpool once he goes through that doorway. And of course, who's waiting for him? Ryan's Deadpool. And this matters because if we would have seen both of them initially together, it would have broken the illusion the opening sequence was trying to create. And coming back to this moment matters because of the what? It being the first confrontation between the two.
What?
Something is so terribly, terribly wrong.
What do you need? Look, Fuckstick, I'm incredibly busy, so why don't you get the hell out of here before I snap your dick off and jam it into your ass?
No. What are you doing here?
Also,
Why can't you be like other actors? Good ones.
and
What's your favorite color? Mediocre?
Since I picture Tom Cruise's Deadpool, still with all his hair and clear skin, maybe 2 little tumors on his face that come off more like annoying acne rather than life-threatening cancer. So I could imagine exactly what he's gonna say when he sees this face.
Dude, fix your fucking face!
The stunning Tom Cruise, you ugly blonde dude. What you gonna do? You can't fuck with Tom Cruise.
Wow, that's just mean. God. You know what? You're gonna die alone. And scared, and probably stoned. This is horrible! This is horrible! I am sorry.
I'm a fan.
I think you were really nice and sweet, and that was awful. This is awful. We need to stop this.
Great. Oh, wait. I got a better idea. How about I send you a hobo's dick cheese?
Okay, game on. I think you're in the big leagues now.
Oh, okay. Flaming Dragon.
That's not really...
Fuckface. First, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face!
A nutless monkey could do your job.
Now, I don't know what kind of pan-Pacific bullshit power play you're trying to pull here, but Asia, Jack, is my territory. So whatever you're thinking, you better think again. Otherwise, I'm gonna have rain down on a godly fucking firestorm upon you. You're gonna have to call the fucking United Nations and get a fucking binding resolution to keep me from fucking destroying you. I am talking scorched earth, motherfucker. I will massacre you. I will fuck you up.
That was a lot. Elements of middle-aged panic, desperation.
You think that makes you cool with the cool kids in school?
You're so old, you make Dust look like a baby.
We live in a cynical world. A cynical world.
It's a cold, hard world. A dying star. Let's face it, the kids aren't dressing up anymore. A white dwarf heading for a black hole. That's physics. It's inevitable.
The universe is talking to us right now. You just gotta listen.
And he says that while he was listening, he asked the universe to send him to a whole new world. And he got his wish. So he's never going back to his alternate universe. Especially that it's rated PG-13.
Go fuck yourself.
You gotta take advantage while you can, right?
Seriously. A nutless monkey could do your job.
You do all your own stunts. Do you do all your own acting? Well, my stuntman's about to fuck you up.
And right when things are about to get messy, Deadpool and whoever else is with him get distracted by something involving the main villain. They only turn away for a split second, but when they turn back around, Tom Cruise's Deadpool is gone. Nowhere to be seen. Makes you wonder how this happened, right?